Greetings, comrades and motherfuckers, and welcome back to Pesterquest streams. Very much enjoying what's happening, chat. Welcome Odd, welcome Phoenix, welcome Sneak Cat. It's time for Volume 2, Something Beyond the Sky, with Rose Lalonde. Welcome back, everyone. Yeah. I am glad you enjoyed it. The as Phoenix would say, the nuclear bomb of greetings. Let's get that starting text off the screen. Yeah, it has been 24 hours. No extra news. Controversially, it's so brave. Let's see. What do I want to say? Oh, I remember now. I remember what I wanted to talk about. So, I looked at the settings for the subscription stuff, and it's pretty swell. And I'm gonna draft some ideas and potentially commission things. Yes. And so that's the update on that. Oh, if anyone has, we can have one, because I don't have very many like subscription points or whatever, because these are technically the first 2 subscriptions my channel has ever had. We have one emoji slot. One. So I will be, if you have any ideas of what you would like that singular emoji slot to be used for, just one. And before you say it, because I know someone's gonna fucking say it, no, it's not gonna be anything to do with Vriska. Okay? It's not going to be Vriska. Sans. Oh, wait, what's that link? Oh god. Oh god, what's the link? PBS? Oh no, that's just Twitter. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be acknowledging. That is indeed what happens to Pikachu costumes for some reason. Yeah, women just aren't allowed to be comfortable, I guess. Anyway. Welcome, Aleph. The word brain cell, and then we never get another email. One brain cell emoji for everyone to share. No, what? Not even though, only one brain cell emoji, but only for the fucking people who are subscribed. Because it's that's like Twitch's whole thing. There are 2 other slots, but they're for like the tier 2 and tier 3, like ones where you pay more money. So they're low priority at the moment because there's presently no one who would actually be able to access them. Something to remind us that we're talking for 20 minutes again. It has actually only been 5 minutes, so I think we're doing pretty darn good today. Although, I should probably boot up the game while we are talking. So, please let me know if you can hear the music and there are not visuals. Because generally, if there is sound, you should also be able to see the game. But sometimes, that doesn't happen. The COD? Oh, last time? Yeah, we do tend to take forever. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to pick the prefix for... Because I know there's, like... In the settings, there's, like, one that was, like, gonna go before all of mine that was, like, Twitch assigned. And then, but I think we do get to pick past that, like, Twitch assigned part. then I get to decide what the rest of the thing will be. Oh, the codpiece that Gamzee wears. No, thank you. There's one Jean face. True. If we don't talk for the entire route, we could also play Dream Daddy. Potentially. Well, I think that it's a high fucking task to ask us to not talk for the whole time. Because there's just always a lot of conversation. But yeah, keep that percolating up in your brains. I remember when the subject came up when I first made Affiliate, I'm pretty sure it was Sneakcat who suggested that the little icons, like the star next to the names, I can replace those. I think it was Sneakcat who suggested I do like a chamomile flower. And I like that idea. And kind of expanding on that, what you can do with the subscriptions is like you can set, there's like 4 different ones for like different lengths of time that you've stayed subscribed. And I was like, what if I do like the stages of the flower growing? I think that would be cute as fuck and very on brand for me. The Roxy one? True. Yeah, okay, I think I know what you're talking about, but if you're able to locate the image and send it to me, then I will take a look at that. If there are any other ideas that folks have as well, feel free to hit me up with it. But yeah, that's a good one. Okay. God, the music here is so good. It's the Homestuck anthem, Homestuck theme, I think is what this original song is called. God, it's so nice. Anyway, I'm getting very distracted. Massive Mount Everest challenges. Nah, we can converse as regular. If we get to do an extra bonus theme from Dream Daddy, that'll be special bonus thing. But the goal is to get through Rose, and also like have fully absorbed the work. You know what I mean? Homestuck anthem. Yeah. See, this little brain of mine sometimes it knows things. Okay, here we are. Something beyond the sky. Actually, I'm gonna have some water, and then we'll start. Okay. Volume 5. Yes, that is the one. Volume 5. Okay. On the advice of your new friend John, you go to visit one of his close comrades. Close only figuratively speaking, since it seems she lives all the way on the other side of the country. That's no problem for you, though, since your new powers let you hop anywhere, anytime, even to places that don't exist. Well, you think your powers let you do that. You just have this distinct metatextual feeling that you could pretty much go anywhere at this point. You know that doesn't make any sense. The Jello fruit cups, eh? There's nothing that doesn't make sense about friendship, though, and that's exactly what you're about to do. Friendship, that is. You're about to do some friendship by making a new friend. Her name is, you check your notes, Rose. This is her house, apparently. Looks kind of weird and modern, and it's situated in the middle of the woods for no good reason you can think of. Also, it's pouring rain, which is not what you would describe as ideal friend-making conditions. Still, nothing stops a mailman, not from delivering mail nor making friends. Rather famously, rain and other similar weather patterns provide no deterrent to the performance of his duty. And there is no duty more important than friendship. There she is! Okay, these sprites are beautiful, number one. Number two, this music. Remix of Endless Climb from Homestuck Volumes 1 to 4. I'm pretty sure it's on that one. Endless Climb. James Broach. So fucking good. This song is really amazing. Oh my god, we're just seeing screaming in the chat. Oh yeah, baby! This is the chi! Oh god, I love Rose. You want to be her friend. Well, you're in luck. She is baby. Yeah. Suddenly, a woodland girl approaches. Who goes there? Oh, it's your new friend Rose, obviously. There is literally no one else this could be. You introduce yourself. You are the cool mailman who John told her to expect a visit from soon. You would doff your mail hat to signal a friendly greeting, except recently you accidentally dropped it into a sewer, along with all of your other mail-specific clothes, as well as all the mail you were supposed to deliver, as you explained to her gratuitously in an unconvincing manner. It's not a great start, you admit, but you've done much worse. You are not a mailman. Yikes. You are busted almost immediately. You briefly consider whether you should double down on the lie and try to say something mailman-like, or whether the right call is to come clean, since she's clearly too smart for this amateur bullshit. But it's taking a few seconds too long for you to decide, which looks guilty as hell. That's it, the jig is up. You slouch in defeat. You ask her if she would please consider not telling John. Your heart couldn't take it if he found out your entire friendship was based on a lie. Oh yes, R.B. Usagi Uzenkai, who wrote the original song that this is based off of, Endless Climb. You want me to keep a secret from one of my best friends, to protect the feelings of a random buffoon who I've never met, and arbitrarily showed out to my house in the remote wilderness like a creep? Strylons will not be fooled by mail-based friendship scams. No fucking way. So, I'm actually gonna hand the reins to chat for this first choice. And you will find out soon enough why. But, neutral. Okay, would anyone else like to toss a vote in? Are we really asking Rose to lie here? 2 no's and 1 say yes to the dress. Alright, no is the winner. No. Man, you guess today is the day you get owned by teens. She is totally right. What are you doing just wandering up to her house without even calling first? It's just totally disrespectful of her time. No need to self-flagellate. It was a simple suggestion to more critically examine your motivations and actions in the future. Oh no, she's right. You're going. Oh, well, what's this? Where are we now? You zap away, aiming for a spot a half a mile into the woods where you can become properly soaked and miserable. But instead of trees, you find yourself standing in front of a bank of computers. Shit, you misfired. Wait, you remember seeing a big structure off in the distance when you were in front of Rose's house. You figured it was just some sort of office building, but this looks more like a factory. Or a secret research lab. Okay. So. Yesterday. What? We'll see. But, yeah, just as a short cutaway. So this is the Direction comic reference here. This panel where Rose finds the supercomputer down in the basement. So normally those screens, right, would be displaying, we can see the map here, the map of their session, their final session. I mean, there's a couple of the spygraphs. There's the map of their session, some coordinates, the big map with all the meteor impact sites. So, let me pop that into chat. If you would like to take a closer look for yourself. Crushed by a meteor in 4 minutes and 13 seconds. So, that is this. And so we can see, like, notable differences here when we come back to over here. So there's their big screen at the top is just showing a clock set at 4:13, which is not the time. That would be a countdown. But it seems to be likely frozen. The magic of Skaya. It just makes me think of the babies, you. Okay. Let's continue going. The computers show coordinates on a screen that don't mean anything to you. A countdown clock is frozen on 4 minutes and 13 seconds. All of this has the trappings of a tableau someone set up for you to see. So the countdown clock is frozen at 4 minutes, 13 seconds. Yeah, well, what's it called? The game is no longer in motion, right? So, how's that affected the meteors, right? It was counting down specifically to the meteor strike, and we'll see a little bit later, there's another little hint at certain things that we see in the comic going a little bit haywire because the game's not there. That was a Babies You reference. Good. Turning away from the screens, you wander down a long line of gleaming science fiction equipment. It reminds you of pictures of old computers from the 1950s, the ones that took up entire rooms. You bet you could go back and visit some of those if you zapped hard enough. You wander through a whole maze of halls and wide, echoing rooms that aren't pictured because our art budget is only so big. But take it as a certainty that they are all very mysterious. Eventually, you circle back to that strange bank of screens. Nervously, you hit a few keys, tap a few fingers against the readouts. Nothing. It's all locked down. You're wondering what... Yes, I was just about to say, those are the Great Lakes. This is, because we can see when in the comic panel, it's Rose looking at the state of New York, because that's where she lives, and then the Great Lakes over off to the side. But yeah, those are the Great Lakes. Don't want to refresh until you're done with this bit. Alright. Well then, I will keep on moving. You think that if you could only get these screens to unlock, you could unravel the secrets to life, the universe, and everything. Or maybe it's your memories you're trying to unlock. Maybe then you'll understand the seething waters of this endless ocean of time and space intertwining in the... Meow. You forgot you lived in New York? Yes, Rose is in New York State. Rainbow Falls in New York State. Meow? Lalonde stole my tax returns. God. Meow. Whoops. You turn around, expecting a cat. And you do get a cat, a very adorable black kitten, tiny and soft, with far more eyes than a cat should have. Aww. Not quite Jasper's. Another little fuzzy someone. But the cat isn't the only thing here. Ah! A woman in a sleek white lab coat and sensible heels holds the cat, pinning you to the spot with her gaze. Or at least, you assume she is. Her hair is in her eyes and the light is behind her, so all you can see of her face are her painted lips. Sorry, ma'am. You absolutely didn't mean to trespass in her secret science lab. And you actually aren't even lying. You really did just fuck up this time. The lady puts the cat down slowly, where it rolls on its back and bats a paw playfully in the air. Aw, cats are great. Even mutant cats. Maybe especially mutant cats? Yes, especially mutant cats. This little guy should have a name. You think you'll name them Cryptid McWhiskers? Yeah, Cryptid McWhiskers is a great name. In fact, you can't imagine anyone ever naming this cat anything else. I know. Cryptid McWhiskers. You hold out a hand to Cryptid McWhiskers and wriggle your fingers. It rolls back onto its feet and saunters over to you. It is as soft and fluffy as it looks, and its 4 eyes blink up at you with utter trust. At least this kitty will be your friend. The ominous clack of heels on cement reminds you that you and Cryptid McWhiskers are not alone. While you are busy with the kitty cat, the very intimidating and well-coiffed lady has walked over to the bank of screens. She presses a button, and it must have some sort of fingerprint recognition or retinal scanning, or maybe she's just better at things than you are, because it works for her. On the floor, a few feet away from you, is a round, gray protrusion, a platform on the floor. You saw it earlier, but you had no idea what it was for, so you just ignored it. What you don't understand can't hurt you, right? You think that's probably right. The intimidating lady presses a button on the screen, mouth turning up at the corners. A flash and a pop, like the pressure in the room changes. You feel it in your eardrums. A pumpkin appears on the round gray platform. Fuck. You aren't really sure what she's trying to say here. Making a pumpkin appear out of thin air is impressive, but it probably would have been more so if you hadn't been popping in and out of existence all day. God, I know, I fucking love her too. It's gonna take more than a pumpkin to impress you. Pumpkin? What pumpkin? The lady shakes her head and hits another button. The pumpkin vanishes, and in its place is a tiger. Yes, you heard that right. A whole-ass tiger. Orange and black, big teeth and big paws. For a second, the two of you just look at each other. Honestly, the tiger might be more shocked than you are. Kinda sucks to think about. One second, you're just chilling on the savannah, mauling antelopes and drinking at the watering hole, and the next you're in a secret lab in upstate New York, staring down a very unappetizing-looking protagonist. Apparently, you are appetizing enough for it to want to get a taste, though, because it looks from you to Cryptid McWhiskers and back again. Then it charges. You try to book it. You try to book it out of there. The lady in the lab coat looms up in front of you. She says something. You strain to hear her. The tiger is right behind you. The lady or the tiger. At the last minute, you remember you have magic powers, and you choose the third option, teleporting the fuck out of there. Oh, not again. Motherfucking Mom Lalonde, everybody. You just zapped into yet another unknown building, although from the view out the window, you think you might be in Rose's house. Also, the fact that Rose turns the corner in the hallway and stops short, still in her rain gear. Her eyes are very wide. You wave awkwardly. That snaps her out of it. She stands up straight, sliding easily from shock to superiority. So you thought you'd just let yourself in? After wasting my time mumbling about the mail, a gaudy display of manipulative self-recrimination, and then popping out of existence to leave me asking myself if I'd finally lost my mind? You hadn't meant to do any of that, especially not that last part. She isn't losing her mind, unless both of you are losing your minds together. Rose looks you over. Finally, she seems to decide that you are for real. Your predilections towards mailman mimicry weren't all that John told me about. Oh? He also said that you had certain powers. Powers of teleportation and time travel. I told him that he must be mistaken, since it's a well-known and accepted fact that magic, although a popular and highly engaging subject of fiction, is fake as hell. Just gonna have a sip of water before I keep going. Oh, your zappy powers. No, those are totally real and not fake. Real in a different way than you being a mailman is real, since that is actually made up. She's still got her umbrella open. Hey, doesn't she know that's bad luck? Luck is also fake as hell. You say you can do magic. Prove it. I love her so much. But she just saw you vanish out in her front yard. Like I said, I could be losing my mind. She could be losing it now, at this very minute, but you see no point in arguing. You hold out a hand, and after a moment of hesitation, Rose puts her fingers in yours. Her nails are long and sharp and painted a glossy black. She closes her eyes and her umbrella drops. Should I picture my room, or something similar? I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to work. She still thinks you're fucking with her. You tell her that you guess she can do that if she wants. Zap! When you open your eyes, you find yourself in a large, messy bedroom. Oh! She drops her umbrella. You really did that. Odd, oh my god. That's fucking true though. I have more faith in my insanity than I do in your powers. That is, yeah. Her boots track muddy prints into the thick white carpet. Surprise! You really are magic. Rose puts a small hand against her perfectly painted black lips. She seems momentarily lost for words, and you get the feeling that this is not a thing that happens very often. Her eyes are wide and deeply purple. They're sparkling, you might even say. Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay here. Don't go out into the hall. It's not safe. You tell Rose to take her time. You're happy to just stand here dripping onto her nice clean floor. She leaves the room and you take the opportunity to examine your surroundings a little more closely. Like fucking Pa Harley, god damn it. Well, they did work together very closely, as we know from Hive Swap lore. The bed is unmade. Books are strewn over the floor carelessly, and a collection of half-drunk coffee cups of coffee crowd the desk. Rose, you're 13. Stop drinking coffee. You really don't need that shit, trust me. Half-finished knitting projects lie in soft piles all over the room. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that this room is often occupied by someone with a lot of interests who has trouble settling down and putting her attention to one thing at a time. Man, you relate. Not with the interest, but with friends. You can't imagine settling for just one. I mean, like, babysitting Jude and Joey and all that shit as well. Rose has a number of posters on her walls, although nowhere near as many as your friend John. A calendar hangs beside the window, days ticked off with little X's all the way up to 4/13, which is circled. You step closer to read the year date up in the corner. 2009. But what the hell do you care about the date? You can make friends any day of the damn week, rain or shine, night or day. Rose sure is taking a while out there. She told you that it wasn't safe out in the hall. Maybe she hadn't just been quipping. Maybe she's actually in trouble. What should you do? Yes, Aleph, I understand. Yes. Yes, they did also connect in the comic. That's true. Okay, hold your answers, because we're gonna go back and pick the other option from the first decision tree. So we're back here. Okay, so if we say yes, yes, that's what you want. It's an interesting proposition, if for no other reason than its audacity. Oops. I admire your resolve in the face of humiliation. This doesn't mean we're friends, though. Oof, rough. Well, that's fine. You're hopeful. Your mind is fuzzy, but you think you remember this. You're good at this. You are... Did I miss a line? No, I'm just having a weird brain day, I guess. Okay. You're good at this. You are excellent at making people like you through underhanded means. You can't wait to take advantage of this 13-year-old girl's goodwill. Okay, wow, not like that. Let's not be fucking weird. In fact, let that be the last creepy thought you have for comical purposes. S-grade jokes only. Let's all get our brains out of the gutter. Rose raises a thin brow. There's something unsettling about her deep violet eyes. You're pretty sure most humans don't have eyes like that, but what the fuck do you know? You're a stranger around these parts. Wait, aren't you a human too? Whatever, it's not a big deal. Not when there are friends to be made. So, the whole time it's like, MSP reader is human, but it's like, questionable, actually. Or something. Do you want to come inside? Unless I'm interrupting your internal monologue, of course. Far be it from me to ever cut short any sort of navel-gazing sidebar. It's just ever so slightly wet out here. You would absolutely love that. If it's not too much. If it's not too much trouble, of course. You wouldn't want to put Rose out. You're lying, though. You are 100% fine with being absolutely infuriatingly obnoxious if it means making a friend. Rose purses her lips, considering. Your predilections towards mailman mimicry weren't all that John told me about. Oh, and we get a little bit of repeated text here now. He also said that you had certain powers. Powers of teleportation and time travel. I told him... I'm gonna speed read this, because we just did this scene. I told him that he must be mistaken, since it's a well-known and accepted fact that magic, although a popular and highly engaging subject of fiction, is fake as hell. Oh, your zappy powers? No, those are totally real and not fake. Real in a different way than you being a mailman is real, since that is actually made up. Is that so? Prove it. You shrug. Easy enough. You hold out a hand, and after a moment of hesitation, Rose puts her fingers in yours. Her nails are long and sharp and painted a glossy black. She closes her eyes, and her umbrella droops. Should I picture my room or something similar? I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to work. She still thinks you're fucking with her. You tell her that you guess she can do that if she wants. You zap the two of you inside the big modern house, and when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a large, messy bedroom. Oh. She drops her umbrella. You really did that. Rose stands in the center of her room in full rain gear. Her boots track muddy prints into the thick white carpet. Surprise! You really are magic. Rose puts a small hand against her perfectly painted black lips. She seems momentarily lost for words, and you get the feeling that this is not a thing that happens very often. Her eyes are wide and deeply purple. They're sparkling, you might even say. Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay here. Don't go out in the hall. It's not safe. You tell Rose to take her time. You're happy to just stand here dripping on her nice clean floor. She leaves the room and you take the opportunity to examine your surroundings a little more closely. The bed is unmade, books are strewn over the floor carelessly, and a collection of half-drunk cups of coffee crowd the desk. A half-finished knitting project lie in soft piles all over the room. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that this room is often occupied by someone with lots of interest who has trouble settling down and putting her attention to one thing at a time. Man, you relate. Not with interest, but with friends. You can't imagine settling for just one. Rose has a number of posters on her walls, although nowhere near as many as your friend John. A calendar hangs beside the window. Oh, days ticked off with little X's all the way up to 4/13, which is circled. You step closer to read the year date up in the corner, 2009. But what the hell do you care about the date? You can make friends any day of the damn week. Rain or shine, night or day. Rose sure is taking a while out there. She told you that it wasn't safe out in the hall. Maybe she hadn't just been quipping. Maybe she's actually in trouble. What should you do? And we're back. Yeah, they're refusing to confirm the theory that MSPA readers are Carpathian by just having them be creature. Yeah, they're just a little creature. You can. Yeah, Rose is something. Let's get a closer look at this bedroom for a second. Just to appreciate the artwork. Because the artwork on the walls here is different than it is in the comic. Which makes sense. They had to make a couple different background tweaks for the sake of these. But there's something about, and this could just be completely arbitrary, but there's something about the poster of the four people that reminds me of the hooded figures that you can see outside of Jude Harley's treehouse. But maybe I'm just reading into it. Alright, so you're neutral now. You say let's go. Right. We have one vote, I think, for going to look for her. Any other opinions? Okay, Fortnite. Yeah, I think the lag and the desynchronizing in this stream is kind of hitting it rough tonight. My internet's probably bouncing a little. I think my parents might be watching something on Netflix downstairs. Figure out what that's a fucking phone for. Fortnite. Well, Odd said let's go, so let's go. Okay. Go look for her. You are too anxious to sit still, and you aren't the sort of person who just sits there and waits for friend opportunities to fall into their lap. Better to run headlong into danger, or as much danger as a minimalist upper-middle-class house in the middle of the woods can offer. Rose had told you that it isn't safe. You creep out into the hallway where a bunch of things happen more or less simultaneously. A deluge of QuickTime events you had no idea were coming. Lightning flashes in a perfect, jagged line across the tall window at the end of the hall, followed immediately by a crash of thunder so loud you think the house might be falling down. Abruptly, all the lights go out. Another flash of lightning, and for a vertiginous moment you see a long, thin figure superimposed against the window. You freak the fuck out, jumping about a foot in the air and yowling like a cat. A small hand lands on your shoulder and you jump again. So, the power going out. Shoot, I should have tried to find a page reference for this in the comic, but it did not occur to me. But the power going out is another thing that gives us kind of a more solid placement in the timeline of the day as to where-ish in the comic we kind of are. Like, I know that the other canon events are going a little haywire, but things like, okay, so John was looking out the window for the mail and came outside in his beagle puss. That places us in time. Rose's power going out. That gives us another kind of placement along the timeline as well. Because, dang, what was Rose doing at this point in the comic? When the power went out, there was already hellfire outside, so maybe this no game universe really just doesn't have any meteors. Because at this point there would have already been a forest fire happening outside, and was John in the medium yet? Fuck, I don't think John was in the medium yet. But yeah, she was definitely playing with John already, but I don't think he was in the medium yet. Yes, and at this point she had to make the adventure out to Sneakhead. I can't answer that question. You'll see. But yeah, so that's the rough timeline. So if there's no forest fire at this point, then that does point towards there not being any meteors at all, since they don't play the game. Calm down, it's just me. Rose speaks in a normal tone of voice, and it's jarring. The house is echoey and cavernous, and there's just something about a dark house on a stormy evening that makes you want to whisper. I told you to stay put for a reason. It's too early for my mother to be sauced enough not to notice random strangers in her house, and I don't want to go through the tedious process of explaining who you are. You have a perfectly understandable reason for why you left, and that reason is that you were lonely. Mausoleum, yes. Rose snorts. Cold! You meant you were cold. Well, you are soaking wet. Follow me. She grabs you by the wrist and tows you down the hall. You wonder if you should warn her about the strange wraith-like creature you saw by the window, but you don't want to freak her out. I know, her smile is like, it's so awkward and cute. Although her mom might be at risk too. Whatever, moms are tough. She'll be fine. This probably isn't the first time she's gone toe-to-toe with a weird Slender Man. This house looks haunted as shit. Rose brings you to a dark laundry room, then motions you to take off your hoodie, which you do, gladly, because it is soaking wet. That's interesting. The design on the front, does it mean anything? Oh, yeah, it is kind of cool. A blue line that zigzags on one end like lightning. Looking at it makes you feel unsettled. You realize Rose is still waiting for a response, so you just hand her the hoodie and tell her no, you're pretty sure it's just an abstract sign. Ugh. Stabbed in the heart. Oh yeah, that's true. When the fuck did Slenderman come out? That was like I'm pretty sure that was like definitely post Homestuck. Then you stand there while she tosses the sweatshirt in the dryer, feeling the alarming currents of memory in your bloodstream. You're sure there must be something you forgot to do. June 2009. Ah. That was pretty close, though. Damn. I don't know why I thought it was, like, 2010 or 2011. You continue to feel weird as Rose hits the dryer button and nothing happens. Fuck. She hits the button a few more times as if that will make a bit of... She hits the button a few more times as if that will make a bit of difference when the power's out. She presses her thumb and forefinger to the bridge of her nose. Well, you aren't going to fit into anything of mine. She leads you down more long, dark hallways. Man, this house is unreasonably huge. You ask Rose if a lot of people live here. No, it's just me, my mother, and a horde of liquids not soluble in water. Here, try not to drip on the carpet. Homestuck stopped Slenderman. Slenderman isn't real despite Slenderman's stories. It's because Homestuck made it fake. You aren't sure how you're supposed to manage that, but okay. This room is large and dark, and when Rose parts the curtains, a flash of lightning illuminates a 4-poster bed, a long counter, and a shelf covered head to foot in bottles. Rose vanishes through another door, leaving you to peruse. This is all liquor. Shit, this is a lot of booze. Here, I'm not sure what you would want to wear, but this should work until the power comes back on and we can dry your clothes. Rose hands you a long silk robe. She won't miss this. I don't think she's ever even worn it. She has this whole closet full of fantastic clothes that she never puts on. You take the robe and go into the large master bathroom. It's kind of a mess. The tub looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a long time. The robe gives you the same knotted feeling of familiarity that looking at your hoodie did, but you put it on anyway. It's a relief to get out of your wet clothes. You hang them carefully on the shower rod. Because Tagora's bathrobe! Reminds them of Tagora's robe. When you head back out into the bedroom, you find Rose standing in front of the wall of liquor. She's holding a bottle of Grey Goose and squinting at the label like she's trying to read the nutrition facts. I've often wondered what exactly the merits of consuming this are. It tastes, quite literally, like burning. She opens the bottle, and before you can protest that she is by no means the legal drinking age in wherever the fuck you are, she puts the bottle to her mouth and takes a sip. She sputters. Ugh! That's terrible! You could have told her that. Straight vodka isn't for the uninitiated, even fancy vodka. You take the bottle from her. She hesitates for a moment, and then lets it go. You set it back on the shelf. This really is, quite an impressive liquor cabinet. liquor wall. Liquor room? Her mom must have a really refined palate. Don't strain yourself. You can say it. What's the point of mincing words? She's a fucking alcoholic. Wow, this is intense. You're not sure if you're prepared for something this heavy. You were kind of counting on some silly shenanigans, maybe a couple of funny jokes. You aren't cut out for this. Then why'd you drink it, Rose? Yeah, I know. You get the feeling that at some point you might have been cut out for this. You might have been the sort of person your friends, or potential friends, could count on. In fact, you know on some level that this is true, but whenever you try and nail down any sort of specifics, you find a gaping lacuna in your experiences. It's all just white noise. Rose's shoulders slump as she stands surveying her mother's bottles. She doesn't even have the decency to hide her distasteful habits. Who needs an entire wall of liquor bottles? She doesn't have people over. She doesn't have any friends. This is all just for me. Just more of her passive-aggressive act as a femme fatale 1950s housewife with a death wish. It's just like the wizards. Wizards? Stream is dead. Okay, let's It should be back now. Oh, hey, Israeli guy, welcome. Are we back? Are we good? Should I keep moving? Okay, good, we're back. Alright. Wizards? Don't worry about it. You know how long it's been since I've had a home-cooked meal? And I'm not saying that I require, or even desire, a lovingly crafted culinary masterpiece every time I sit down to eat. That's going a bit far. I know John complains about being plagued by fatherly concern every chance he gets. He is overwhelmed by pastries whenever he ventures from his room. I'm glad my mother doesn't poke her considerable nose into my private affairs, but I'm sick of eating oatmeal. Ugh! Right in the fucking heart. Ugh. What happened in the last hour? We did the first parts of Rose's Pesterquest. That's kind of it. We haven't done anything else for the stream. But yeah, that... Oof. Rose. I told you, don't worry about it. But you will worry about it. You worry about all of your friends. All 2 of them. Rose smiles with half of her mouth. It seems to be about all she can manage. Dadbert come to the lawn house and take care of Rose. Yes. Yes, if we have time, we may be able to do one scene from Dream Daddy. Lightning crashes. She looks so small and sad against this wall of bottles. You know how to fix this. Thunder rolls and you clench your fist. A friendship clench. You don't know who you are, you don't know why you're here, but you do know that surely you have these powers for a reason. And what better reason than helping a poor young girl with her troubled home life? Rolling up your floppy sleeves, you get to work. What are you doing? You start with the dark liquors first. In your experience, those cause the worst Those cause worse hangovers and are more likely to contribute to the absence of hot, motherly meals and the overconsumption of oatmeal. You grab 2 bottles of rum and 1 bottle and oh, there should be only one and there, and 1 bottle of bourbon. Ugh. Reading out loud. Direct action, which you tuck in one armpit. Then you zap out of the house and into a clearing in the nearby woods a couple of hours ago, before it started raining. You drop the bottles and go back for more. Are you just stealing all of my mother's liquor? Is this your solution to her alcoholism? Don't worry, Rose can thank you later. This is super not how addiction works. But okay, MSBA reader. The faces just get increasingly perturbed. You go for the tequila next, then the vodka, then you get sick of this organized approach and just start grabbing whatever the fuck and dumping it in the past. Rose watches you do this for a while, then she hops up on the counter, crosses her legs, and starts texting. Wow, she's really so intent on her conversation that she isn't even noticing you fixing her domestic situation. I mean, yeah, Rose is just like, nope. The Squiddles. Yeah. Oh, I really hope we get some Squiddles creepypasta stuff out of Jade's. She keeps giving you little fleeting looks, and you're pretty sure she must be talking about you. You should just let her talk. It isn't right to try and invade your friend's privacy. You attempt to resist the temptation, which you fail at immediately. Not even an overused meme can save you. You zap behind her onto the counter where you can spy on her private correspondence. I don't know anything about them. I'm sorry. Jade, Rose, talking to each other. Ah! Makes me very excited. Jade was real. And here was me, trying to take advantage of your uncanny ability to make guesses verging on prognostication. I'm recently considering a reevaluation on magic. You don't know who this person is. Maybe you should just... You go back in time a couple minutes to when Rose started her conversation. Your past self is busily zapping back and forth carrying liquor bottles. You hunker down so you don't see yourself and cause a paradox or whatever the fuck. Yes, precisely, Israeli Guide. The 48-player Squiddle session can still happen. If we believe in it hard enough, it will make it just a little more real. Tentacle Therapist begins pestering Garden Gnostic. Woo! Or it will. Oh, what the fuck's the quote? Now it's bothering me because I know I didn't do that meme properly. It's like it will make the fakeness attribute slightly smaller. Yeah, we memed June into canon. We can meme the 48-player Squiddle session into canon. Out of a morbid curiosity to shine a light on my future, I come with metaphorical hat in hand to ask you to consult your dream clouds. Do you happen to know anything about a strange cardboard cutout creature masquerading as a mailman? Are you sleeping? Sorry, I had to scold Beck. He's been acting really weird all of a sudden. So, Sneak Cat, I know that you have run through the hills. But hopefully you still have this window open, because this is the answer to your question. You were asking about Beck earlier. This is what we know about Beck at the moment. Beck is definitely still here, but acting real wonky. Definitely knows that something has just gone way off the charts. Cardboard cutout. Yeah, I guess just another way of describing MSPA reader as, like, generic friend-shaped creature. Anyway, is this the same mailman that John was talking about? The fake one who hung out with him? That's the one. They are currently emptying my mother's liquor cabinet in an attempt to prevent her from overindulging herself. Oh, are they drinking it? No, I think they're just dropping it into the woods with their magic powers. Oh. Do they know that she could just go out and buy more liquor? That's something you can do where you live, right? Yes. Well, not exactly where we live. I think the nearest boozery is a good 20-minute drive. I'm not actually entirely sure where my mother got it all. We don't own a car, as far as I know. Sometimes it seems like she has the ability to just make things appear. Wah wah, what do you know? She does. I don't know anything about them. I'm sorry. And here was me, trying to take advantage of your uncanny ability to make guesses verging on prognostication, as I am recently considering a reevaluation on magic. I'm still pretty sure magic is fake. At least the kinds of magic you're talking about. There's probably some real magic out there somewhere. Yes, for instance, the sort that lets you spy on your hostess's private correspondence while you are stealing her mother's libations. Caught in the act. One thing that a lot of folks have kind of interestingly noted is Rose and Jade use those gender-neutral pronouns from the get-go for generic friend-shaped creature, but John automatically applies a he/him, and it just kind of showing, I guess, differences in understanding of gender. You freeze. With a contrite zap, you reappear in front of Rose. She sets her phone down and props her chin up on a delicate fist. Although... yeah, I mean, I guess what's the line of canon and what's connected to what is slightly fuzzy. All these words are supposedly slightly connected to the epilogues? I don't know. I guess in this particular alternate universe, they do have that earlier age understanding of gender, because it reminds me of Jade in Epilogue's Meet, when she says she would have liked being a they if she'd known it was an option. Yeah, JadeRose convers are incredibly rare, which make me super duper happy that there was one in this. Stream is laggy. Oh, sorry about that. No, it's all good. Sorry, you honestly don't know what got into you. You just couldn't resist using your powers for evil. Haven't you heard that with great power comes great responsibility? Rose is right. She's totally right. You've had this power for like a day, so you still aren't used to the idea of being able to just zap all over the narrative. Clearly, you did not appreciate the implications. Zapping all over the narrative sounds potentially stressful. Oh, you bet. You are incredibly stressed out right now. Rose laughs. You apologize to her for stealing all her mom's drinks. That was kind of overzealous of you. No, actually, I thought it was hilarious. I've never really been one for pranks. That's always fallen more in John's wheelhouse, but there's nothing wrong in occasionally stepping outside of one's comfort zone. Let's do the vodka next. The two of you working together get the place cleared out pretty quickly. You zap Rose along with you to the bright clearing in the field, and for a moment she just stands in a sunbeam blinking up at the cloudless sky. Her expression says she still might not be totally convinced any of this is happening. Yeah, John, come collect your cryptid who came over and stole all of my mother's drinks. When all the liquor has been transferred from the bedroom to the woods and a big glittering dragon's hoard of booze, you and Rose fall down next to it in a messy heap. Well, you fall down into a messy heap. Rose lowers herself daintily, sitting more on her knees than her butt, probably to keep her skirt from getting dirty. You get the idea that even though she lives in the middle of nowhere, she doesn't spend a ton of time outside. You tell her again that you're sorry you spied on her correspondence with her green friend Gigi. You also hope she isn't going to get in trouble with her mom. I'm not unduly concerned. I'll tell her where it all is in a couple days, although by that time, I'm sure at least a good third of it will be water damaged. I'm sure this will have fantastic implications for our relationship and not at all exacerbate the emotional problems underlying her addiction. You laugh awkwardly. Well, now you kind of just feel like an asshole. Rose lies back on the grass and raises a hand to trace the curves of a fluffy white cloud. She closes her eyes. You nearly set the house on fire trying to make your snack. Well, I am glad that you did not actually set the house on fire. No, didn't go into Doc Scratch's computer, went back through the fourth wall that they came through, and found the juju by going through that. Perhaps it's just projection on my part, or wishful thinking. But ever since I met you, I feel like something has changed. Or rather, something has failed to change, if that makes any sense. It's probably nothing. That's the game. That's the game not happening. Her eyes flicker back open, endlessly purple, fixed on the sky like she can see something beyond it. And once again, you feel that there's something really crucial that you forgot. But at least you've made a new friend, and even if you don't think Rose's brand would ever allow her to call you such, you're lying in a sunny clearing next to a pile of alcohol, and honestly, it doesn't get much friendlier than that. Victory! Ta-da! Oh, I know, right? I mean, like, you know, there's all the ominous things about feeling like something has changed or failed to change, and feeling like MSB readers feeling like they're forgetting something, but aside from that... Oh, yes. Are there only... No, there's usually 3, but this one has 2. So, yeah, we do have one more ending to get to. But it is 10 after 12, so I'm going to leave this up, actually. And pop the break text on. And, yeah, we will do the other ending after this. Back in 5. Hey there, we're back in action. Ooh, it is solidifying. Nice. It will be ready for the pie. Ah, that sounds so good. Okay, let's load up. So, hopping right back in, our final option is to stay put. Your patience pays off almost at once. Rose is back and looking significantly more put together. Also, she's brought you a towel. Here. I'm not overly attached to anything in here. It's mostly just childish nonsense I've yet bothered to rid myself of. But I'd appreciate it if you tried not to drip on any of the notebooks. She has changed out of her raincoat and boots, and she's dressed in a neat black skirt and a white shirt with a purple blob thing with tentacles. What is it with these kids and their blob shirts? Now that's dealt with. Please sit down. She crosses her legs. You suddenly feel like you're at a job interview. Friend interview? You wish you were a little less damp. Actually, let's switch places. You're still pretty wet. You don't want to get her bedspread messed up. Don't worry about it. That's what washing machines are for. Now, let's talk about magic. Which up until now I have always taken for granted as being something confined to storybooks. Rose takes a wistful look toward her bedroom window, grayed over and blurry with raindrops. You get the feeling that she's doing it for effect. Maybe that's why she wanted you to switch places with her. Yes, we are back. It's really good. And then comes you, the not a mailman with a penchant for showing up and attempting to make friends with unwitting children. Well, fair. She's got you there. But honestly, she might be a child, but she really doesn't seem to be unwitting. On the contrary, she's really quite witty. I'm glad you noticed. She folds her hands and clears her throat. You think that if she had any notes, she would be shuffling them. And so, the question remains. Are you a good witch, or a bad witch? Or are you a wizard? We've already established that you are not a public servant. God, I fucking love Rose. Is there a difference between a witch and a wizard? Of course there is, but exactly how specific of a difference can vary. According to some works of fiction, a wizard is just a witch's male counterpart. What? Oh. Bye, Israeli guy. Hope you have a good day. But in certain mythologies, for instance Arthurian legend, the difference appears to be class-based. Wizards reside at court and are classically trained, while witches are self-taught and run wild through the forest. I won't deny that those differences tend to often be gendered as well. You ask her which one she is, a witch or a wizard. Me? Rose shifts, uncrossing and recrossing her legs. You shrug and say she just seems to know a lot about them. I know a thing or two. But can I tell you a secret? Oh my god, Rose. She has no idea how much you would love to hear her secret. I find them, wizards, I mean, utterly reprehensible. They disgust me. Everything from their foppish robes to their grizzled beards. It's my mother who is the wizard enthusiast in this house. Although... She glances from side to side, theatrically. Most of the things Rose does seem to be at least a little bit theatrical. She kneels on the carpet beside a clutter of books. I don't show these to many people. Actually, I haven't shown them to anyone. Not even John? John seems to be a pretty cool guy. Definitely a guy worth sharing a few secret notebooks with. Rose laughs. No, I haven't shown them to John. And I've only shown them to Strider to punish him. You nod, pretending that you know who this Strider person is. You are a totally normal dude with an absolutely ungodly number of friends. A shadow moves through the center of you, a trembling moment of déjà vu. You do have a lot of friends. Don't you? That feels true. But the only people you know here are John and now Rose. Weird. You tried to put it to from your mind. Put it to from your mind? You tried to put it to from your mind and listen to Rose again. She is still talking about this mysterious Strider, flipping through one of the journals too quickly for you to see anything specific, only that it is full from cover to cover. As if my modest writings are the sole source of homoerotic tension in his life, when his brother is the one who insists on filling their home with assorted dick butt for ironic purposes. Woo! Rose rolls her eyes. Oh boy, you missed the beginning of that. It probably made way more sense than it seemed like. Rose is searching through her notebooks, checking markings on the spine that seem to be some sort of cataloging system of arcane symbols. Oh, like there should be 2 O's there or something, maybe? Okay, yeah. Where is... Oh, right. She does something quick and complex with her fingers, and another notebook pops into existence and falls into her lap. You gape. She really is a wizard. What? It's just a Siladex. A child could use one. Here. This notebook has a couple drawings in it, but most of it is filled with small, neat handwriting in lavender ink. Is Rose writing a book? No, don't be silly. I'm writing 4 books at least. 5, depending on whether I decide to flesh out Calmasis' backstory. It isn't strictly necessary, but it does add a certain amount of valuable character insight, which renders their actions in later volumes more sympathetic. Not that I need all of my anti-heroes to be sympathetic. I'm just thinking of what the literary reviewers would say. God. I know. I love her too. This fucking nerd. You nod. Smart. You never would have thought of what the literary reviewers would say. She is honestly pretty impressive for someone her age. Age has nothing to do with it. But don't get carried away. It's only a rough draft. You ask her if you can take a look. She hesitates, but you doubt she would have shown it to you if she didn't want you to look. Yeah, Silodexes are definitely still a thing. That was not something that was really connected to the presence of the game, I'm pretty sure. What the hell? If you can't trust a strange spherical imprint you met outside in the rain, who can you trust? Oh, I love that strange spherical imprint. Canon or Forbidden Tome when you thought Silodexes and Spurb were made by the same company? I don't remember anything about where Silodexes came from being in either place. But I could just be forgetting the details of the cursed works, because I'm 100% certain that they are not tied to Skynet. Well, no. No. There is that one scene where we see John gets the fetch modus fetch modi for his birthday, right? I can't remember if there's branding on the box or not. I know in the Alpha Earth, Betty Crocker has a big hand in Silodexes, but it doesn't necessarily say whether or not the Betty Crocker Corporation or anything associated with Spurb invented them in the first place. Yeah, I don't know whether or not the direct invention of Silodexes is tied to Skynet or not. But it's a plausible theory. And yeah, may or may not have something to do with the Forbidden Tomes. I might just be forgetting the contents of those, which I'm very thankful for. Right? Your thoughts exactly. Rose hands you the notebook and you open it at random, letting fate guide your hands. Now, this first one, I'm fairly certain, is the same one that we actually read in Homestuck proper. When we get to peek in Rose's notebook, as John, I think. Friglish bothered his beard as if unkinking a hitch in a long silk windsock. A more pedestrian audience would parse the exhibit as nervous compulsion, behavior to petition contempt among the reasonable. He was, however, not surrounded by the reasonable, but the wise, a distinction in men that would forever be the difference in history's garland of treasured follies. As a matter of fact, his cater of fellow wizards were all putting similar moves on their beards as well. The practice would evince thoughtfulness, sagacity even, if they didn't do it all the time. Standing in line at the bank, shooing squirrels from bird feeders, few occasions were safe. Zazarpan inspected the clue. A single piece of evidence cradled in his coriacious old man palms. It was a human bone, not striking in the tale it told alone, so much as that told by the thousandth like it festooning the marshy soil of the mass grave. The grisly expanse bore the texture of a decadent dessert, like one of Smarmy's formidable custard trifles, wobbled out on wheels for the holidays, to the dismay of a small nation. You're certain of this? Asked Friglish. Despite what he was doing with his beard, he was, in fact, immersed in meaningful contemplation. I am afraid that I am becoming more so with each terrible tick groused by that gaudy timepiece slung around your neck. In case it wasn't clear, Friglish wore a clock Zazarpan didn't much care for. It was magic. The massacre of Sears Nelf was not as written. Yeah. Think it might be Cork doing that stuff for Skyrim? Yeah. Forbidden Home said 0.69% good content. That is Calamity Jane. Basically. Cat is a cat baby. Aw. But yeah, her handwriting is all swirly. Wow. This is pretty dense, but smart. You stroke your own imaginary beard and pretend to ponder the deeper meaning. Yes, intriguing. Zazarpan and Friglish. Clearly there's some history there. Yes, clearly. But what the two of them shared went beyond simple romance. That's why it has gone so spectacularly sour. Rose becomes increasingly more animated as she tells you about her gay wizard OCs, like she's far more interested in them than she is in herself. They share an intellectual bond, a mutual dedication to knowledge and the preservation of such. The goal of the learned is to amass their wisdom and keep it from general dissemination into the main populace of wizards. They feed it to their apprentices in drips and drabs. Of course, this will eventually lead to ruin. Of course. You flip further into the book, searching for the part where it leads to ruin. Ruin sounds interesting. I know, Rose! Oh, I love her so much. Zazarpan knew he would see his wayward apprentice again, knew it like he knew the tide would turn and the sun would blaze to its zenith as each inexorable day passed. Now they stood diametrically opposed across an overgrown chessboard. His apprentice's eyes were hidden behind dark glasses, but Zazarpan knew that if he could see them, they would be riddled with the madness of the void. Calmasis wasn't here for justice or revenge. They were here exclusively because Zazarpan had something they wanted. Something they were owed. You flip through the notebook, checking out the drawings. There are a lot of wizards, each more bearded and venerable than the last. One of the pictures, the most recent maybe, since it's on the very last page of the journal, is of two young wizards, twins maybe. They have gray hair and are wearing slick green suits and are standing back to back with their arms entwined, staring into the middle distance. It's very anime. You compliment Rose on her artistic prowess. Yes, thank you. They're all right. I'm a much better writer than I am an artist. You tell her you think she's really good. Way better than you. You're absolutely positive she's going to be famous one day. I appreciate the encouragement, even though I know you're just trying to flatter me due to your strange thirst for affirmative experiences. John told me all about that. Damn. Busted. But you really do think she's talented. It's fine. It's not as if my social calendar is overfull out here in the middle of the woods. Don't tell anyone I said that I don't have many friends. And don't tell them that I've been drawing. He'd be insufferable. He? Never mind. I'm guessing that's referring to Dave. You assure Rose that her secrets are safe and hand her back her journal. You are really excited about your new friend, if you might be so bold, and her wizard stories. Although, wait. Hadn't she said that she hated wizards? What's your point? Well, you're no expert on wizards or on Rose, but it seems like she actually does seem to like them, because she has several notebooks full of wizard fiction. You aren't trying to get, real here, but maybe it's possible that her mom isn't the only one in the family who likes wizards? Rose pulls her book out of your hands. That and the rest of the books vanish into thin air. Oh, right, that must be that... What did she call it? The Sylladex? we are secretly jerking Caliborn Lucy, who loves anime and hates Mondays. Garfield, Jesus fuck. Loves Mondays and hates lasagna. Oh, wow. If JadeRose drew her anime OCs, she would never escape the red miles. Oh, yes, walls and walls of red text haunting her fucking dreams. She doesn't look angry exactly, but the lines around her mouth and eyes that softened as she talked about her book have hardened back up. Her eyes glitter menacingly. Oh, is that right, Freud? Well, why don't you diagnose me? Woo! Oh, hey! Wow, you weren't trying to be condescending or whatever. Clearly. Were you aware that it is a common psychological phenomenon for an individual to react to trauma by creating fictional representations of that which is... Blah, blah, blah. Wow, I gotta take a bigger breath before I start that sentence. Were you aware that it is a common psychological phenomenon for an individual to react to trauma by creating fictional representations of that which has caused them bodily harm or emotional dismay? To suggest that the portrayal of those fictional renderings somehow condones them or supports them is absolutely absurd. So, what she's saying is that she draws wizards to cope. Rose rises regally to her feet. The lightning turns her into an ethereal silhouette. And now the power's out. What I'm saying is that I don't need to justify my fictional predilections to you or to anyone else. No, she's totally right. You're sorry that you suggested she might like wizards. It was horribly presumptuous and not at all the way a friend should act. You are so sorry. You promise it will never happen again. No, I don't suppose it will. It's probably just because Rose's hair is such a pale blonde, but it almost looks like she's glowing in the dim bedroom, like light behaves a little differently around her than it does on everything else. So we see light aspect stuff here, and then back when they were staring at the sky with the alcohol, seeming like she was looking through things. So there are still class-specty things happening here. You thought maybe one would be short, and then Rose made us read her wizard fanfiction. Yup. Would you look at that? It appears the rain has lightened up a bit. The rain is hitting the windows so loudly, you're actually having trouble hearing her. And your point is? You can just zap yourself out to where the weather is drier. Fuck off. Go zap yourself. Whoops. Yes, and luck in her knowing his thoughts and all the aspects of light. Yep. Rip indeed. This is the bad end. Okay. So, with that, we have the end of the content presently available to us. But before we go, there were a couple things that I was saving until everything was finished, just so there would be no spoilers at all, potentially. So let's take a look now at our Chumroll. Eat it while it's warm? Ooh, that's a personal preference thing. I mean, personally, I would love to have something like that warm, but I don't know, if you're a cold food kind of person, maybe you would prefer the other way. So here's the Chumroll. Boom, boom, boom. So, John, a shorter day. You convinced John not to play the game. This probably won't have any far-reaching narrative consequences. We finished on time once. Yeah, I know, right? We go overtime basically every time. No whipped cream. Oh, rip. Alright, with Rose, with great power. You help Rose with her mother's alcoholism. Your method was surely foolproof. Have it warm? Yeah, sounds good. And a little bonus pal, Cryptid McWhiskers. You participated in the time-honored tradition of renaming someone else's familiar. Which I think is super fucking cute. Alright. Credits. So, let's take a look at who's behind the scenes. Okay, so, of course, Hussy's up here. Cindy Dominguez and Julian Dominguez both also were producers for Hypeswap Friendsim, so they're back on the team. Director, Aisha Yufera. Yay! Yeah, so Aisha is directing and also wrote the prologue and Rose. And of course, John, our Egbert pal, was written by Andrew Hussey himself. Alright, character artists. So, Kim Quach also did art for the Friendsim and is back in action with the John sprites. And new artist Brea Rivera did Rose. So that's neato. I'll share social media links to this when we get back into the web browser in a minute. Background artist Zameg, who's been for a very, very long time involved in Homestuck. Big name in the Homestuck fan art scene. Also does art for the fan venture Vast Error. Is I think a pretty big part of the art team for Vast Error. Actually, I have not read Vast Error, so not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure does a lot of the art for Vast Error. Is very involved in that. Yes, Zameg. Woo. And Courtney Brundle did the background art for Rose. And Courtney Brundle is we looked briefly at their Twitter last weekend because they posted some of the backgrounds on their page. So we were like, yay, look at this person, yay. You can't because of the big static sections. Yeah, I've heard that static is like a big thing in Vast Error that means something. It's one of those things that I've been meaning to read for a while, but I just haven't got around to it. And I likely will not, quite frankly. I'm sure that it's great. But I will try. I will try one of these days. It's on the list. I just have a lot of things I need to get around to. It's good, but also totally different, with some borderline unreadable quirks. I mean, I'm up for the challenge. But yeah, I mean, I know that Vast Error isn't just like a Spurb fan venture, in it like it's not on Alternia, it's on Repeton, and there's like they've done some like changes to the social structure of trolls and like that kind of thing. So like it does sound very interesting. Oh yes, and there's also I know they're doing the Snowbound Blood friend sim type thing at the moment as well. But yes. Alright. Don't want to ruin our good record of actually finishing on time today, maybe. So, continuing on, the ending illustrations, same credits, Zameg for John, Courtney Brundle for Rose, UI designer David Turnbull is back at it again, and audio director is James Roach. Woo! Yeah, that was a role that was not present for the original Friendsims, but James Roach is back in the saddle. Fuck yeah. Speaking of which, all of the music that's been present so far is by him. So, the menu theme is Friend Vangelion Rebuild. Prologue theme, Worst End, is from the end of Hypeswap Friendsim. John's theme is called Sometimes I Call Andrew Hussey Andy, and so far he hasn't corrected me. The only thing they have in common is trolls and aspects, but otherwise everything has been removed, changed, or added. Yeah, so I think it would be a really fun one to explore. I just have to actually get around to it. Poor Dream Daddy. Yeah, we're not getting around to Dream Daddy today. Sorry, Phoenix. Oh, God. I feel like I, like, just barely remember what that's a reference to. It's a rap song. And that's all that I remember. And Rose's theme is called Please Support the Trevor Project, which I actually have a tweet from James Roach we're going to take a look at as well with regards to why that song is titled specifically to asking people to donate to the Trevor Project. So game design and programming. Mint Chipleaf is also back. Mint Chipleaf came in kind of late game to doing programming stuff for the Friend Sim and is back at it again for Pesterquest, and did Volume 1, and of course David Turnbull with Prologue and Volume 2. Alright, and I believe that is everything that there is to explore here. You feel like people significantly overstate the differences? I mean, I haven't read it, so I can't really say, but, maybe, I don't know. Alright, so we're finished with the game. Exit! Let us head back over to that web browser. Hello? Did it freeze? Because nothing's happening here, and I've quit the game. Ooh, my computer is not responding. I don't like that. I really hope this is still streaming, and also hope that it is still recording. There we go. Okay, now the game closed. I was scared for a second there. Alright, so let's start off over here with this. The Perfectly Generic Podcast has so kindly put all of their Twitter on one post, which is very helpful for me because it means I don't have to send like 10 links in chat. I only have to send this one. So that is the link to the Twitter pages for all of the people involved. Writing. Hussey, Aisha, I mean, like, Andrew Hussey's not really active on his Twitter, but, like, you can go there. The art. All of these lovely people. The music. The coding. Check them out. Ah, God, you know, I hate when it does that little notification thing, so I'm just gonna... Okay. So, this Rose's theme was called Please Donate to the Trevor Project. So here's James Roach had a few words to say as to why he specifically pointed towards them. With Pesterquest releasing tomorrow, I wanted to take a minute to talk about something. One of the tracks has themes originally composed by the late Usagi Buzenkai. Any proceeds for this song I will personally be donating to the Trevor Project. This is not something I want to make a huge deal out of because it feels performative to do so. I chose the Trevor Project because of its relevance to her passing. If you are unfamiliar with her story, there are better people than me to tell it. The theme in question is Endless Climb. It's the theme that got me back into composing nearly 10 years ago now. It is an unbelievably important piece of music to me, and probably many others, just as many of her songs were. Suicide and gender are two things I have struggled with in recent years, a little silently. I hope by bringing some attention to the services available to those that need them, it will help someone out there who is struggling. So, I mean, Usagi Buzenkai was a closeted trans woman who took her own life, and so that's the relevance of this. So, if you have got a couple bucks to spare, I would highly encourage you as well to donate to the Trevor Project in her name. In other news, there is now an official Twitter for Pesterquest. So if you have Twitter and you'd like to give that a follow, go check it out. Yeah. So right now, you know, they reblogged some fan art, and of, you know, mostly been shit posting, you know, aspect. Here's the merch. What pumpkin isn't brave enough to let me sell? Motherfuckers out here playing video games when you should be gaming the job market. Egbert finally got to say fuck. Now if we can just get them to make us some money. Does Rose say fuck too? How many fucks we talking here? What's Pesterquest's FPS? Fucks per second. Isn't the low hundreds last you checked? Oh, well, not anymore. Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. The creative side declaring fucking war on the commercial side. They're just like, you are not going to turn us into some polished presence. We're gonna fuck around the whole way through. The fucks per second thing feels like Dave. If anyone can destroy capitalism, it'll be one pumpkin. Oh, saying that sounds like Dave reminds me. I was chilling at one of Rev Scarecrow's Homestuck streams, and everyone kept yelling at him about how he's basically Dave, and it's just like, wow, it's really fucking true. But he would get like increasingly mad at people insisting that he's Dave adjacent. Now this account is not new, but it has been updated. This is the official MSPA Reader Twitter account, which no longer says Alien Invasion of One, or, you know, the description. What was the description from before? But who am I again? And the top 2 tweets here. Or the top 4. Is something happening? Where am I? I'm scared. Who am I again? You ran back to say that he's totally fucking Dave. Yeah, very Dave adjacent. But yeah, so this is what's up now with MSPA Readers' social media presence. Getting spooky. Alright, and the last thing, Aisha went on the Perfectly Generic podcast to talk about Pesterquest. So, I haven't listened to this yet. I haven't had the time. It'll likely be my morning commute listenings on Monday. But if you have a chance, I mean, it's the director of Pesterquest talking about Pesterquest with someone who wrote one of the roots for Pesterquest. So that's cool. Yeah. And with that, that's all of our links. Damn. It really is 12:50. So I apologize, Phoenix. That's not enough time to do a whole shebang with Dream Daddy. So we're actually gonna end early today? What? But speaking of Dream Daddy, that is what we're going to be going back to next weekend. Weekend streams, both of them will be Dream Daddy for sure. So get excited for that. We're starting the second round of dates. So, clean slate. Nobody's second date has been done yet. So, keep in mind, think of the person that you want to start with. Keep your little vote in mind for next weekend. And when we get there, it will be time for date number 2. With whoever gets the popular vote. All right. That is what is available at Pesterquest at the moment. And they will be coming out every other Wednesday. So they came out Wednesday this week. There will be no new Pesterquest next one on the upcoming Wednesday. The Wednesday after that, September, drumroll, 18th. Wednesday, September 18th. They're releasing them, I think they're releasing them around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so that's what's up with that. And that's what's up with next weekend. And yeah, I'm going to be putting the John Pesterquest stream on YouTube after this. I'm going to be starting the upload right after I get off stream today, so that's going to be popping online soon. And this will be available in 24 hours on YouTube as well. If there are any parts where the stream was fucking around and you would like to maybe watch them again, I apologize for the stream being fucky, but it will be available for your high definition viewing pleasure on YouTube in 24 hours. Might miss the next one because of Blake's birthday. Ooh. Oh, happy birthday, Blake. Blake can think of a stupid thing for me to say if they want to hang out on a day that is not the day when they are doing things for their birthday. But yeah, sick. Happy birthday, Blake. Yeah, well, these Pesterquest ones are all going up on YouTube, so fret not, you will not miss the thing. Oh, goodness. Alright, it is time for me to maybe get some sleep, because my brain is telling me to go to bed. Okay, folks. Time for me to go to bed. Time for y'all to do whatever it is y'all usually get up to after streams. Thank you so much for joining me on this amazing journey. I'm super excited to do more Pesterquest volumes with y'all. Oh my god. What was the next? Shit, I can't remember who was confirmed next. I'm pretty sure the next one was confirmed to be Dave, according to the game's coding or something. You'll let Blake know. Good shit. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Dave is gonna be next, so, like, get fucking ready for that. Alright, have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. Fingers crossed I will be seeing you all right back here next weekend for some Dream Daddy fun. And, from my end, that's good night, and Galaxy Hearts from Homestuck Volume 8 will play us out.